All right, I have another reading. Today is Sunday, actually. Out here in Korea is Sunday. Back in the States is probably still Saturday, about to be Sunday. But today in church, the preacher read from Matthew chapter 10, starting at, I think it was verse 27. Matthew chapter 10, verse 27, all the way to 36. And well, actually 26 to 36. And I read this, well, when he preached this, I thought it was fitting with the other video that I just did. It's the same day. I just changed clothes, got took a shower from working out, and it reads, "Therefore do not fear them, for there is nothing covered that will not be revealed, and hidden that will not be known. Whatever I tell you in the dark, speak in the light, and what you hear in the ear, preach on the housetops. And do not fear those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul, but rather fear him who is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. Are not 2 sparrows sold for a copper coin, and not one of them falls to the ground apart from your Father's will? But the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Do not fear, therefore, you are of more value than many sparrows. Therefore, whoever confesses me before men, him I will also confess before my Father who is in heaven. But whoever denies me before men, him I will also deny before my Father who is in heaven. Do not think that I come to bring peace on earth. I do not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to set a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a man's enemy will be those of his own household." So this reading was pretty good. I mean, of course, off rip, when you read this, it teaches us not to fear man, but to fear God, who can destroy body and soul. This was Jesus' speech to his disciples as they went into the world, because he knew that preaching the gospel of Jesus, that it was gonna become difficult, being crucified, being talked about, being ran out of cities. And he gave them this speech of encouragement, and even for us to this day, that we still shouldn't, fear what man can do because of the word of God, that we should still, preach and teach the word. And when it goes down to saying, do not think that I come to bring peace on earth, verse 34 in chapter 10 of Matthew's, Jesus saying that, like, in a sense, like, what I get from that is, in this world of sin, right? And in this world, that's the problem. And Jesus wasn't, he didn't come down to bring peace in a world full of sin, where sin is still active, but he came to bring a sword. And as you know, the sword is the word, and the word is what, frees us from sin, basically, by cutting the sinful pieces, out of us, out of our minds, out of our daily lives. And in that sense, it's like he didn't bring peace, right? Because every day is war, mentally, physically, and emotionally, trying to fight off, sinful desires, sinful thoughts, sinful ways, sinful living. And that right there is is at least my understanding on that of Jesus saying that, because a lot of us want peace, a lot of us want, a comfortable lifestyle, but in a world full of sin, that can jeopardize our ability of obtaining that. It's kind of impossible to have peace on earth, in that sense, in a, sinful sense versus, God's way. So when you read that, I feel like people shouldn't feel like, oh, Jesus didn't come to bring peace, no, but it's a reasoning behind why Jesus said that. And then to also, try to shine some light on the next one where he says, I have come to set a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's enemy will be those of his own household. In a sense, it's again challenging. It's challenging us to, just because your parents may do something, don't feel like, oh, I can do it too, right? It's challenging. If my parents are doing something and I read the Word of God as a Christian, I know that's not the right thing to do. I have to go against that. I can't pacify that because that's family, and vice versa, parents, because that's your kid. You can't pacify that because that's your kid. It just shows, again, it's a challenge. Everything's a challenge, but it just shows that, are you going to stand on godly morals over, family connections, And then, of course, it says, and a man's enemy will be his own household. So, again, having kids, growing up, being a kid with parents, it's gonna be arguments. It's gonna be moments where, one is put against the other. But it's all about building up the right character and mindset, which is geared towards God. So let's not lose focus of that. Let's always keep that in mind. Continue to challenge ourselves to live and be examples to those that we come across, speak to, and all that good stuff. Because as we know, based off the Old Testament being our learning book within the Bible, destruction and punishment does come towards sinful acts that go unchecked. And that's all I got, really. But I thought this verse went good with the other verse that I read. Shout out to the preacher man for the lesson today. But peace and love.